Dami Mommy be down.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yes, just sit down and take this axe in the face. Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy Joe Johnson, aka Black Nito, aka Bushido Brown, aka Known Thug, and I'm here hanging out with the homie, and we're gonna talk some magic.
Hell yeah. I feel like every time I see one of your intros, you add a new tagline on the end. I feel like at one point it's going to be, you're going to do a video and it's just going to be your introduction.
It's just the introduction. That's it. It's just like a 15-minute, just long introduction of all the AKAs.
Yeah. I'm just Danny, so that's all I've got at the minute. Is that I have no accolades at the moment.
It's like the Barbie movie. I'm just Ken.
Yeah, definitely. Yes, Joe, thank you very much for joining me and taking the time out of your day to come and chat with me. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on. We're going to jump straight into it because there's no beating around the bush. Everyone knows why we're here. Magic the Gathering. It's a game, it exists. Yes. It involves cardboard and turning it sideways. How did you discover that Magic was a thing that existed for you? Like, what was your first kind of touch point that it was a thing in the universe?
I've probably talked about this in a few other podcasts, but so I got started. Okay, so I'm originally from Michigan, Flint town, and I went to undergrad in Kalamazoo, Western Michigan, and I worked at this. It was like Disney World, but for airplanes. Okay. Weird. I know. Already like what? And so I worked as almost like a kind of like, it was like a monologuist. So like we walked around, we did research on different aviators, and I walked around as a Tuskegee Airman, of course. But I was Ben Davis. If you don't know him, look him up. But I kind of wrote a monologue about him. So what we had to do is we took like 30 minutes and we would walk around the place, and we had to just kind of gather people and deliver our monologue. But then the rest of the day, we were kind of just like, all right, we're not really doing much. I guess we'll just hang out. So my buddy, during our downtime, was like, hey, I'm gonna teach you how to play Magic the Gathering. And at the time, I wasn't dating anyone, so I had a lot of time on my hands. So I learned how to play Magic the Gathering, and they taught the entire like crew how to play. I also started playing World of Warcraft then too, so that was crazy. Like I said, I wasn't dating anyone at the time, so I had a lot of time on my hands. So I learned how to play Magic. I remember going to a store in Michigan, and I think I picked up my first booster pack or box or something. I picked up like some kind of like set thing, and it was Ravnica Return, like the second time it came back. And so I picked up a bunch of cards, and I remember going out. I had like 3 jobs at the time because I was like trying to pay for college. It's hard. So I went to my second job that day, and I was talking to a coworker of mine, and someone came up to me, and I was like, oh man, I learned how to play Magic the Gathering. It's super fun. And this guy came up and he was like, hey, are you talking about Magic? And I'm like, yeah, I just learned how to play. It's really fun, this and this and this. And the guy was like, hey, I just actually pawned off all my like good cards of my collection, and I've been just kind of sitting on these boxes. Do you want them? And I'm like, I mean, yeah. I mean, I'll pay for them. Like whatever you want to, whatever you want to pay for. He's like, no. I just want to pass this on to someone else that's passionate about the game. Oh. And I just want to say, if you would ever to get out of Magic, pass it along to someone else. And I was like, okay, respect. So I called up my friend, taught me how to play. We both went over to his place and we picked up, it was like 5K boxes of Magic. And we had no idea. We split everything down the middle. We were just looking at pictures. We were like, oh, this picture looks cool. This looks cool. I think this is fun. I like vampires. Okay, cool, whatever. So moved out to California and I met some friends here and they all came over and I was like, hey, I love Magic, da-da-da. They came over and they looked at the box and they were like, there's fetch lands and Caracas and this and like dual lands. Like what did he sell? Because you have a box full of like really good cards. And so that's what I started with.
Wow.
Yeah, I like hit the jackpot on life in Magic. Like I didn't have to pay for any of that, which I'm still very thankful for. I wish I knew the guy's name. I really wish I knew his name. I would shout him out in all my videos because this is his fault. Oh man, but yeah, I've had a great time learning how to play. The first group I played with, they probably, I felt like Bane. I was born into the fire. Like they would win on like turn 0 through 3 every time.
Okay.
And I didn't know what was going on. They were all like, oh yeah, we're playing Commander. Come play. It'll be fun. And I was like, oh, I like vampires. I built this Balthor the Defiled mono black vampire deck that did not work at all. And I would just sit there and watch them combo off every game. And so, yeah, so that's what I guess kind of like spawned my playstyle. Also, I grew up playing fighting games. I grew up playing Tekken, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Marvel's Capcom 2, the whole deal. So like that was always my reasoning for like, oh, well, if you get caught in a combo, you're done. So I was always acceptant of being comboed off on, being like, oh, well, I got caught in a combo and I couldn't get out of it. So, whatever. And so that kind of led me to go, okay, let me start to build some more competitive decks. Henceforth, now how my play style is, so if people don't understand where my mentality is coming from, that's where it's coming from. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. That's cool. So you pretty much started playing Commander as the initial format.
I think I played like a week of Standard and got so bored that I was like, all right, let's get into something different. And the people at the shop, the friends at the shop were like, hey, you should come play the Commander. I'm like, okay, yeah. But also I played Legacy for a little bit too, which is essentially my version of Commander. Yeah, so like I had a Legacy deck, I had a Tron deck, and I had a Burn deck, of course. I want to get over as quickly as possible. But yeah, that's kind of it. That's kind of my history of how I got into Magic.
Nice, very nice. I like it. I also, I have to tip my hat that one of your first decks was a mono black deck. Being a mono black fan myself, anyone that says they started and played mono black makes me very happy. So you started playing Commander around Ravnica Return. Ravnica keeps coming back for some reason. They just keep bringing it back. But, we're at third or fourth time.
I think it's a really good set because it's so unique, so definitive. That with the different people have like, like all Harry players do this, and it was about Frank Reynolds, being the trash man, and people related to that, and I was like, yeah, I feel like a lot of humor comes from pop culture and understanding, and then trying to relate that to nerdy side of things. And that, I feel like that's been my biggest like take from, you know, trying to relate to, because I mean, in high school I wasn't a huge nerd. I mean I did like a couple things here and there. I used to draw anime. I would, you know, but I would hang out with everyone, you know, so no one was excluded. I was that guy at lunch that went around to every single circle. I ran track, I wrestled, but I wasn't like, I never pushed anyone out of any group. I would always include everyone in, no matter what. And so that kind of like led me to, when I play Commander, I'm very forward with, hey, I'm playing this, I'm playing that, you know, because of like my whole rationality about being rule zero and being very transparent about what's in my deck is that if I'm playing a fighting game and I pick a character, you know exactly what I picked. So you know that bullshit is about to come. I'm sorry, can I cuss on this? Oh, my bad.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, you're good.
Okay, yeah, we you know, minutes into, YouTube ain't gonna flag it. But yeah, like, you know what kind of things I'm bringing if I'm picking, you know, Magneto Storm Sentinel in my respect Pontu. You're like, okay, cool, I get it. If I'm picking Fox, if we're playing, you know, Smash Bros, even though I don't consider that a fighting game, it's a party game. But if I'm picking Fox, you know what the smoke is about to happen. So why wouldn't I be that transparent about my Commander decks? I want everyone to be on the same page. I want everybody to agree on the power level that we're bringing. If someone's like, oh wait, I don't think I can hold up to that. I only have like a precon with like 10 cards upgraded, and I'm like, oh, okay, let me switch to something different, because this deck wins, you know, between turn 3, turn 5, you know, untouched or whatever. And I think that's the conversation that everyone needs to have. I think, you know, no one's out here you can't win a prize for playing Commander. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, so we're here for the social aspect of it. Why not be here for the social aspect of it? And I just don't understand how I can't get behind the mentality of people being like, well, why would I tell people what's in my deck? It's like, why not? Like, that's a bigger flex if you tell somebody, hey, the smoke's about to happen, and if you don't stop me, then this is what's about to happen. And then they can't stop you. And then you're like, all right, cool, next game. GG.
Yeah, and it's one of those,
I think
as well.
That's a way bigger flex.
Yeah, and it's one of those, you spend that time building the deck. Like, why would you not want to kind of showcase him, like, hey, you know what's in here? Like, I spent time and money to get this stuff in this deck. Like, if I don't play it, I at least want to let you know it's there. So
exactly. Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
And for people are like, oh yeah, I'm not running tutors. I'm like, why not? There's 99 cards in the deck.
I literally have a new Grim Tutor that I bought, the foil one on my desk now.
Let's go.
Just to add.
Let's go.
Yeah. Always run tutors. You need that shit.
Always. It's just, I mean, go get the thing that you want to get, combo off. Let's go to the next game.
Hell yeah.
I don't mind. I do not mind. Yeah.
So, just to pull it back a little bit, once you got into Magic and you started playing regularly, how did you go from Magic to here, to where you are now with Tabletop Jocks and doing Magic content? Where did that come from for you?
For me, I think it came to the pandemic. I was on, so I had a few friends that were working on game nights, and hit me up. They were like, hey, you want to do this thing? There's game nights. I had no idea what it was. It's like, well, okay, sure, whatever. I was like, you're like, yeah, just come on this YouTube show and then, you know, play Magic. I'm like, okay, sure. And so I thought it was more just like, I read the room and I was like, oh, we're all actors. We're all here just having fun. Like, we're having, you know what I mean? Like, I just and so I was like, I'm not going to play how I normally play, because I feel like that would kill the vibe. Instead, let me play some, you know, something more fun. Let me play more in a more fun way. Because I'm having fun with the people that I'm in this room with. We're all cracking jokes. We're all having a good time. That's called, like I said, reading the room. And they had a blast. And, you know, I didn't want to look at like the YouTube comments, because I know the YouTube comments are so toxic, and like people are just, I was like, oh, they're gonna be racist, they're gonna be this, they're gonna be that. And then my fiance took a look at it and she was like, oh, actually everybody is really digging you. Like they're having fun with your vibe. And I'm like, really? I was shocked. I was very shocked. So I was like, the internet sucks. Like there's so many miserable people on the internet that are just ready to just go after, especially like being a blurred, like a black nerd, like in this situation and being like, you know what? Let me just like pull back. I know they're gonna, be saying all the worst things, but everybody was like super chill. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And so that allowed me to see that maybe there is a window of opportunity, and I kind of looked around and I was looking for other Black content creators, and it was hard to find them, honestly. And I was like, damn, is it really not that many Black folks playing Magic? I was like, let me change this. And so I wanted to open the door for other to come in and experience that, even though this is something that I do on, this is my pastime. This is like my side hustle. I love doing it. I love hanging out, but I'm more focused on trying to get more folks that, when you walk into a room or to a space and a lot of people are just like, well, you're just, you're just, you're flipping the head on its end. I'm like, how much representation do y'all have versus how much we have? It's next to nothing. And so if I can provide a space where people, and not to say that skin color is the end all be all. It's like, okay, cool, you see it, and like, but if you walk into a space and you see someone that's like-minded, that's like featured, that's like whatever, and you're like, I see them doing that. That's representation. People don't understand what representation means. It means that, oh, like I can see myself in them or in their likeness doing what I want to do, but maybe now I have the courage to go out and do it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. So if my platform can give people the courage to want to, whether what they look like or not, can give people the courage to go out and do what they want to do, then great. And so that was my motivation to start TableTop Jocks. I left a previous channel that we shall not name that was very, very vile. As you can, if you look it up, you'll see. But after I got away from that, I set my sights to just focus on what was more important. And what was more important for me was creating that space, making sure that people felt safe, making sure that people felt like they belonged, and that people were just having fun. Like it was a joy to do my first cookout last year and have everyone come out and support Juneteenth and just celebrate and play Magic and eat barbecue and know what the cookout meant. Because I know a lot of people were like, what's the cookout mean? I don't know. I've never been invited to the cookout. Well, you're invited now. Cool. Come on. Here it is. And I think that bridges a lot of stereotypical gaps in that cult, and crosses over into cultures and like, hey, come on over, see what this is about, see how much fun we're having, because that's literally what it transcends. Is it's about making friends and being social and having a good time. Despite whatever your past or what you look like or what, whatever, come on over, let's have a good time. Let's break bread, let's play some Magic, let's play some D&D, let's play some nerd games, let's play some board games, let's play some video games, and let's just chill. And then after that, let's go to the bar and like, let's have a couple drinks or whatever your life is, even if it's just, just hanging out. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at now. And like, that's where I've been. My mentality, I'm an actor in LA and I love being a nerd and I love hanging out and conversing with other like-minded individuals. I have a good time doing it. And, I want more people, especially with like Universes Beyond, like, come on now. Like, I know there's a big controversy between like oh, they're just bringing in, you know, more pop culture references. It's becoming Fortnite of Magic. But I'm like, that's what got me into Fortnite, is the Marvel skins. And you know, so like it excites me to no end to be like, yo, I could play Black Panther as a Magic card. Are you kidding me right now? Like, it's so dope to me. And it feels like I wish more people would focus on the joy it brings other people versus the, you know what I mean? Like, and I don't get it. I really don't. I can't relate to the people who are just like so upset about a game that other people are enjoying. It's like, if you like it, I love it. I don't want to yuck anyone's yum unless you're harming people or, you know, doing, you know, something disgraceful. But if you're genuinely having a good time and connecting with folks and it brings you life, good for you. If I don't like that thing, I'm not going to even comment on it because it doesn't pertain to me. Someone else's happiness has no business in my psyche. I don't comment on someone else's happiness to try to bring them down. I encourage it. Be more happy. And, you know, move forward with that. So as I'm saying, like, learning about the Marvel stuff, Final Fantasy, all the different, like, fucking SpongeBob. Like, what? I
mean, hey, I'm hoping for a mono black commander card from that SpongeBob drop. I'm praying.
Oh my god.
I'm praying for a mono black plankton.
I think it's all so fun. And like, what a great way. Like, I mean, I got the Street Fighter Blanca. I'm hoping for a Tekken set to come out in the near future.
That'd be cool.
King of Fighters, that would be dope. I know Smash Bros won't ever cross over because Nintendo is, they don't, you might want to cut this because they might be like, wait, you said Nintendo. But yeah, I mean, honestly, like, I'm really excited for the future of Magic and like where it can evolve into, to, you know, keep creating a community that, you know, and I have not done anything. It's the people in the community that have all been in the same like-mindedness and in the same, you know, I guess, been like, yeah, we're all connected. We're all hanging out. We're all excited to be here. We're all excited to hang out. And if people have not been doing MagicCon, please go. It's such a unique experience. I started going to cons, I think, 2022? Okay. MagicCon, my first, went to Comic-Con for the first time. Nuts. Get crazy and crazier, but like, you see the passion that people have brought to whatever facet they're in, where it's cosplay, whether it's you know, game making, whether it's role playing. I did my first live play at, what was it? Was it Comic-Con? I think it was Comic-Con. It was Comic-Con, not last year, the year before, 2023. Okay. And I did my second live play of Kids on Bikes in Gen Con for the first time. So I went to Gen Con for the first time and did a live play. That was nuts. Very overwhelming, but I had such a unique, dope experience. I remember my favorite experience of Gen Con was I was walking with my fiance. We were walking down, you know, the corridor, and it was a group of, I want to say like 6 or 7 African-American gentlemen. And as soon as I walked by, they all screamed in unison, "TableTop Jocks." I was like, yo, that gave me life. That will forever live in my head. And I met them and I was so humbled and I was so happy that they were there. Like, I was holding back tears. Like, that is the experience that I love to see. You know what I mean? Like, that was just such a touching moment. Yeah, just experiences like that touch people and like bring people more close to, like, hey, come on in, don't worry about it, come on in. And I think that with all the friction that's going on in the world, I think that we need to double down in our efforts to be more inclusive, to be more mindful of people. Hey, you seem like you're having a bet. Come on over. Let's have some fun, you know? And I know the world isn't all about fun and games, but that could change someone's life. It could turn someone's whole world around. And I think that more people need to start thinking about people, you know, as opposed to thinking about themselves, and thinking about, you know, and having more empathy and having more, you know, just relating to being a human and loving one another, because that's really what it's about, you know? Like, I know it diverged very far from Magic, but it kind of didn't, because command itself is a social aspect, and you don't make a social contract to say, hey, let's be friends beyond this. Let's hang out. Let's meet up. We're, you know, let's bring more people into the fold. D&D does the same thing. A lot of gaming does the same thing. It's a game. We're gaming as adults because we want to continue to have fun, and then continue those relationships. Like, you can meet your best man or best person at you know, at LGS, you know, if you open your mind and open your heart to it. Sorry, I'm getting a little preachy, but I'm just saying, like, these are the things I believe in, and I don't understand how anyone would think otherwise, or gatekeep, or you know, be upset about someone else's happiness. It's just it's mind-blowing.
This is very true. And to bring it back to Universes Beyond, like, people don't like it, that's fine. You have the opinion to not like it, but as an onboarding tool to bring more people into the game and into the community, it's a perfect way to do it, because you branch into all those different pop culture references that people love and are invested in already, and bring them over to here. Then they're going to come over here and they're going to experience Magic, and then experience the in-universe side of Magic, and fall in love with that story and those characters and those ideas and the game. So it makes sense. Universes Beyond makes sense.
It makes sense.
And, you know,
it makes sense. And you know, I mean, I get it. Like, I'm looking at it from so many different standpoints, but also from a corporate standpoint. Like, if I ran Magic as a company, I would want more people to like and play the game. Just saying. That just makes sense. I don't know. Like, and also too, if you don't like it, don't buy it. There are plenty of other people that are going to buy it, or that invest into it. And I've even heard people being like, oh, if you sit down with a transformer in your command zone, I'm not going to play it. It's like, then sit in your corner and weep. Like, go over there, because that's not the thing that's going to continue. Like, why wouldn't more people want, like, I love anime. I've loved anime since I was a kid, and I never talked about it until I became an adult, honestly. And then when I became an adult, I realized how many people like anime, and I'm like, oh, that's so cool. And I realized how much of a weeb I was not, because the extensiveness of anime that is categorized in so many different genres. And I was like, oh, I didn't even scratch the surface, because I had no one to talk about it with, because I had no one to talk to about all my interests. So I kept it all in, and I was like, and I don't regret any of the decisions I made, or like playing sports or whatever. And that also like made me lean into it that much harder. Yeah. You know, it's a reason why I call the channel TableTop Jocks. Literally the two sides of the hilarious coin of being a jock, but also loving tabletop gaming. You know what I mean? At one point, jock was like, it's almost like saying nerd, you know what I mean? Like in that kind of like negatory term, but like to take that and flip it on its head, I thought was hilarious. I was like, yeah, do that. That's funny. And my buddy Cameron came up with the name, and we talked about it the other night. And I was like, he's like, you came up with that name? I was like, yes. I was like, you still like because we were talking about different names, like what to call the channel, and like what to do with things. He was like, what about this? And I was like, that's brilliant. Because I told him a story about I remember being in line for some convention, and I've told this on other podcasts too, but like I had this guy kept looking back at me, and I was like, it's kind of interesting, like whatever. And he just like noticed, and he looked back, and he finally spoke, and he said, I'm sorry, am I in the wrong line? And I was like, nah, man, I'm here for the same thing you're here for. I like what you like too. And just like, you could see that he wasn't like, he was genuinely concerned that he was in the wrong line because I didn't look the way that he thought I should look. But I thought that was hilarious. But also like, damn, anybody can be a nerd. Like meeting Austin for the first time was hilarious. Like, I've been listening to the music for years, and then I walk into a local game store and he's there, and I'm thinking nothing of it, and then all of a sudden he turns back and then he looks, I'm thinking he's looking past me because he's like, he's got all those bodyguards around, and he's like, oh shit, Big Joe, what up? I'm like, I'm sorry, what? He's like, yeah, man, I saw you on Command Zone. That was so cool. I'm like, I'm sorry. And he's like, and before I get another word out, he's like, yeah, man, take my number down. And we're friends to this day.
Hell yeah. That's cool.
And it's just, that's the thing. That's the bridge, the gaps. Like it just, it solidifies so much because you never know who you're going to meet and you never know who you're going to talk to. I have met so many cool friends that they're just like, yeah, man, people are just people, People are just people. Everybody just wants to hang out, have a good time. That's it. That's when you break it all down. We're all human.
Yeah. Anyone can play games. That's the thing. Yeah. Anyone can play games. There's nothing stopping anyone apart from your own apprehension. So don't be apprehensive. Just play a game.
Yeah. Don't do it.
Just play a game. Well, to move on a little bit, because you kind of I had, so although this is like, as an interview show, it's more conversational, I do have questions written down, and you just breezed through like a good 50% of them, which is good. No, that's good. That's good. I love it. So I'm going to move on to the hard hitting stuff, because this is like the key section of the show. And again, people who've watched this show and all the other episodes, they'll be sick of me saying this, but for my guests, I'm going to ask you some questions. Your answers are going to be solidified in concrete for the rest of the time, immortalized on the internet.
Sure.
So what you say now will be held against you forever. And probably won't hold up in a court of law, but we can try. You never know. So, firstly, what would you say is your favorite color pairing or monocolor if you want to go monocolor when playing?
Color pairing, Naya.
Okay. Why?
Naya or Gruul? Naya or Gruul? I'm just the type of person that, like, I love to get in there, get some damage in. My favorite tactic is swinging. I mean, there's nothing better than beating people with combat, especially when it's just like over time. I mean, my Llanowar elves will swing. If they ain't got nothing to do and they ain't typing for mana, they best believe they're coming over with them hands. I think my favorite card in all of Magic, or some of my favorite cards in all of Magic, my favorite commander is Samut, Voice of Dissent, and I really love the card. I love the lore. She reminds me of my own mother. The strength, the passion, the glory, just kind of just like, and just inspiring everyone around. Like the fact that you put that many keywords on one card that costs 5 mana, that has flash, double strike, turn, tap, untap a creature, tap a creature. Everybody's got haste. What were they thinking? I've wrecked so many people with that deck that it's been a staple to the point where, like, I'll never change it. It is what it is. Even after the bans, I'm not going to take anything out of it. It's just, it's a legacy staple.
Okay.
want to play against it, that's just what it is. Like you will play it the way it is. I don't think I'm going to tweak it, thus forward, going forward. It's almost all foil. I'm missing one card, Survival of the Fittest, and we all know how much that is foil. I'm also looking for a good reason to buy it, because if my fiance knows how much that card is. If I buy that card, if it shows up in the mail, she will guarantee, and she's a Scorpio. You married Scorpio too, so guarantee she will be like, all right, so we going on a trip then, huh? I'm like, yep, we sure are. Cause you spent how much on that? You about to spend double that on me? Yep, sure am. But yeah, I think my favorite color pairing is definitely Naya, Gruul. Rakdos will be probably a close second. Actually, it's between Rakdos and Orzhov, because I love to talk. I love it. I just love the table talk. I love to politic. I love to just get in people's heads, and I always tell the truth, and that's the beauty of it, is that you can tell the truth with such eloquence, and people are, well, I'm gonna find out. And it was like, well, you fuck around, you're gonna find out. But I never lie. I never lie about what's in my hand. If someone's like, well, if I do this, I'm like, well, then you're gonna have to pay the price. But that's such an Orzhov thing. That's such a, or Silver Quill thing. I love it. I love playing politics, and just, I love Goad. Goad is hilarious. Just watching, all right, cool. Fight each other. I'll see you all after the chaos.
I'm getting a strong sense of your playstyle here, and I'm worried. I see what you're doing. I see what's coming for me.
Yeah.
Okay. So you mentioned your favorite commander being one of your favorite cards. What would you say if you could at this moment, with what's out there? What if you had to pick a top 3 cards?
Ooh. Top 3 cards just ever?
Yes.
Wow.
I know it's a big question.
That's a huge question. It's funny. This is the lore one.
Okay.
The reason I built Jessica Kamal, because when I first started, so when I had that big collection that was given to me, I read through all these different cards, I was reading the flavor text, and I was like, what's up with Jessica and Kamal? And I'm like, are they and then I saw the evolution of Kamal. It used to be red and then it became green, and I was like, what's going on? What is this? And they're on so many different cards, and then you got a chroma in the mix, and you got it's just Corona False God, that to me was such a cool arc. And I'm like, the fact that they brought it back, and then going on game nights the second time, it was the partnering. I was like, yo, I gotta play these 2 cards. This is my jam. So those are probably the 1 and 2, Jessica and Kamal. In general, I'd probably say Jessica Thriceborn.
Okay.
I mean, if you have both of them on the field at the same time, and Kamal swings and you don't block, you perish. It's brother sister. It's yeah. And I would say my 3rd favorite card, other than Samut, because I already talked about that. I'm gonna go Avacyn. My favorite creature type in general are angels. I have every angel. Okay. I've collected every single angel, and I have binders full of angels. I've collected every single angel in the game. Every time they come out with a new angel, I'm like, all right, cool, I gotta get it. And this Foundation's made it very hard for me to collect angels, because there's a really expensive foil one that I'm like, yeah, I gotta get it.
Yeah. So as in Avacyn Angel of Hope.
Avacyn, Angel of Hope. Yes. Although I run the other Archangel Avacyn in my Sama deck. That to me, like having Flash, like just surprise, I got indestructible. Haha. And I can also dome you for a whole lot of damage if you blow up or blow her, blow up anything else. So I think she's a very she's a very cool design character, and I'm really digging her.
Yeah, nice. I'm an Avacyn fan, and I have one of my best friends runs a Giada deck that's lethal.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yep. Giada don't play.
No. No, she doesn't. Okay. That's a very good top three, I'll say. Yeah. One question I will ask as well. Another one is, as we're now in January and we have Innistrad Remastered being the next set that's dropping, what is up to this point? Because again, the future holds many varied things. What would you say is your favorite set up to this point, if you had to choose one?
I really dug Bloomburrow.
Okay.
Like, I didn't think I would like it that much, but when it came out and the cards that came out of it, I was like very surprised that I liked so many cards, and like the art was beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, I think so far. Well, yeah. Are you talking about just 2024 or just like in general?
Just in general.
Like,
I mean, you can say for 2024, Bloomburrow, yeah.
For 2024, it was definitely Bloomburrow.
From alpha to now, if you wanted to pick a set.
Wow. I gotta go OG. I gotta go with Ravnica. Ravnica is always gonna be, you know, it's everybody, you know, everybody always picks the thing that it got them started. And I think it's such a cool design to start off in Commander or in general, because you all, like, everyone wants to be themselves in whatever game that they're in. They want to see a part of themselves and identify with something that is, you know, very like, ooh, that's, you know, you go into the lunchroom and you know, going back to basics, you go to the lunchroom in high school and you're like, oh, these are my friends right here. I know exactly what they're doing. And even though I would walk around and talk to everyone and be social and be cool, there's still a point of like, oh yeah, well these are the people that I go to all of my concerts with, or have my first house parties with, or like invite to my wedding. You know what I mean? Like, it's that identifiable that you have such unique characteristics in all these different guilds that someone can sit down and go, oh wait, this is me. And there's 10 different, you know, categories, as opposed to going, oh, the Bloomburrow set was pretty okay. Yeah, I like cute fuzzy animals. I thought my fiance was gonna like, you know, we have 3 cats, so I thought she was gonna be like, oh yeah, this, you know, I'll start playing. No, that didn't happen. Or you know, you play, you know, Innistrad and you're like, oh, I'm in the vampires, I'm in like, you know, horror, and you know, I also thought Duskmourn could have led into the horror a little bit more. I was really kind of disappointed in that. I wanted to be like, but I get it, it's technically a kid's game, so like you can't go too far, and it's also Hasbro. You can't go too far into the horror, but I wanted there to be like, oh, Michael Myers, or like, I mean, there was references to like classic horror,
like, subtle,
you know,
I
like
thought they would have stepped it up a little bit more than they did.
Yeah, I wanted it to be a little bit more like, oh, this is like horror, like, you know. And I love modern horror. I love horror in general, but I love modern horror. Hereditary, Get Out.
Yes.
What did I just watch? We just watched Nosferatu. What else? I'm just a huge horror fan in general. Smile 2. Oh God, that was terrifying. Smile in general, like, watch them both back to back. Jesus Christ. They're so fucked up. But I love that. That's you know, I think possession movies are, and demonology is something that I can, and I've done research on and been very intrigued over the years, and like it scares the shit out of me.
Yeah.
So any movie that deals with any kind of that stuff, sign me up, and then queue up a fucking comedy right after, because I'm gonna need it.
Yeah. I still think the first Paranormal Activity film is a fantastic piece of work.
Oh, it fucked me up. I saw that when I shouldn't have been watching movies then. I was like 6 or 7 when I watched that for the first time. I was like, why am I watching this? Why? And then I kept watching all of them. So yeah, there you go. I think that just kind of like spurred into, and it's so funny that I love the way Jordan Peele came from comedy but understands horror. I feel like I feel like we would be best friends if we hung out. I also think that he plays Magic, which would be totally awesome to get him on the channel, or just hang out and play Magic with him. But I think there's a fine line of like understanding the difference between horror and comedy. Is that there's such a thin veil over both, that I think is such an, if you understand comedy and you understand timing, you understand the way that it works, it's so close.
Yeah. I was going to say they share that link with pacing. Like if you can pace it out, then you hit with comedies, like you pace out that punchline to hit, and then you get the big laugh. But again, with horror, you pace out that scare jump, that shock, that moment to hit. And it's that same kind of flow, just with two different outcomes. Yeah,
and you can do the same scene. I think he said this too. So you can have the same scene and score it differently, and one's horror and one's comedy. It's the same fucking scene. You could take a scene, pluck it right out of the movie, and add a score to it, and you'd be fucking terrified, or be like, oh, there's some shit going down, or like, oh my god, this is the funniest shit ever. You know what I mean? And like take the different cuts of the same scene and be like, oh my god, this is a horror movie now. Like, what's going to happen? But yeah, so that, I would say that for me would probably be my favorite like set in general. Like Ravnica is just, the world is so vast, and it kind of like brought me into D&D a little bit. I know there's like a Ravnica D&D campaign that I want to run. It's just, there's so many cool things out there that I just, man, there's not enough time. I want to do all the things. It's
like for the whole Magic universe is just, it's been so well crafted over the years, and like there's so many planes that have so much, again, like so much lore and so much background that you could really deep dive way too deep into if you wanted to.
Right. I love that. I love deep diving. Like I think my first D&D campaign, I wrote a 20-page backstory for my character.
Nice.
I mean, it's just like, as coming an actor, that's kind of our prep. I was like, oh, that's light prep for if I was playing like a lead in the movie, or like playing a character. Like that's you write everything. You kind of come up with the world around this person. I'm not just living in this, oh, I'm saying my line next. I have a before, I have a life, I have this, I have that. And then you come into the scene, and then you're just like, okay, cool, this is my life. At least that's how I was taught. I was taught by some really, really cool professors and teachers. So that's always been my logic behind building a character. And so I don't want to skimp on, because I'm playing D&D. It's like, no, this is building a character. This is my before, and this is my, where I'm at, and creating a scenario to like really sink your teeth into and to get under the roots of where that person lies and what makes them tick. That's just, it's so fascinating to me to dive into it like that. So yeah, maybe that's weird for some people, but hey, I'm having fun.
I get that. I'm one of those people that like when because I'm a forever GM in terms of like role playing games and stuff, so I go deep in backstory and lore whenever I'm writing anything. So whenever I get a player who gives me a character and they're like, hey, here's an essay on them as well, it's like, perfect. Like I will take that and I will manipulate it and ruin your character's life in the game by pulling everything from that I can. So yeah, I like that methodology when it comes to character creation.
I will say that the DM did. Sorry, is it DM or GM?
It depends. Like in Dungeons and Dragons, it's a dungeon master, so it's DM. In most other RPGs, it would be GM because it'd be classed as a game master. Or
game master.
Depends. Like in Alien, it's mother because you play as the mother computer, so you're called either game mother or just mother.
That's crazy. Yeah. Is there an Alien TTRPG?
Oh yeah. I'll send you some links after this. But shout out Freely
insane.
Publishing.
I would love to play that.
Yeah, it's cool.
I would love to play that. That sounds so fucking scary.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. That's super cool. So going back to that. So when I first rolled, the dungeon master was like, "All right, cool. You roll all this. That's great. Roll a d20 for me." And I hit a fucking nat 20.
Nice.
And he was like, "Yep, all this is true. I can't. Nothing. Yep, it's all true."
Fair. That works. Yeah. Please, yeah. Like fair. Tick. Done. Move on.
Yep. Cool. Good. Everything you wrote is canon.
Nice. Love that. That's why you do it. That's why you roll the dice. You take the chance and.
That's why you gotta roll.
Yeah,
you gotta roll.
You gotta do it.
Also, Baldur's Gate 3 is amazing. I'm having such a good time playing it, but I'm also so fucking stressed out because I cannot make a decision. I don't want to piss anyone off. I don't want to fight. I just want everyone to get along. I'm like every situation, I'm trying to talk my way out of stuff. I'm like, hey guys, we're all good. Everybody just be cool. And like every instance of like roll initiative, like, no, I can solve this. I can figure this out. We don't have to fight. I'll restart it and figure out if I said the wrong thing or if I can like have everyone. I just want everyone to just be cool. My fiance will make fun of me. She was like, "Well, your rising and your moon are both in Libra." I'm like, "What does that mean?" She's like, "You want everyone to just be cool, be friends. That's not how life works." I'm like, it sucks.
Yeah. It's called making multiple different saves and then just going back a bit.
Yep. Just go back a bit. I've been doing that so many times. Like, no, be friends. Don't fight. Except for certain instances. I won't spoil the game for anyone, but there's been a time where I've been like, "No, y'all about to take this level 5 fireball to the face." Mm-hmm. And I'm an evocation wizard. I'm not hurting anyone who's on my party.
Okay.
I'm not one of those wizards. I will throw a fireball right to the ground and burn everyone around my allies who are trying to hurt.
So you play Baldur's Gate 3 and D&D like you play Magic.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a wizard and I have Karlach in my party, so yes, definitely. Mm-hmm. Also, just built, like, because of D&D, I just built Karlach.
Nice.
Built Karlach, and my first background was Master Chef, but I think I'm switching to Raised by Giants because
okay,
it's just, I mean, a 10-10 Karlach coming at you, swinging with trample, mm-hmm. and then she's gonna swing again,
and like, again.
That's pretty much the premise of the deck. Is like, Dami Mommy be down. Mm-hmm. It's like, yes, just sit down and take this axe in the face.
Nice. I can already, like, I haven't seen the deck list, but I can already picture what's in there based on that.
Oh yeah. It's World Beat Down. It's exactly what it came here to do. We came here to ramp and beat face and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of ramp and chewing and bubblegum. So I guess we got to beat face.
Nice. I like it. Hopefully I'll see it in action at MagicCon at Chicago.
That'd be cool. I'll bring it.
Hell yeah.
I'll bring it.
Nice. Speaking of, look at that for a segue. Speaking of MagicCon and talking about the future, obviously you are TableTop Jocks, and you have your show, and you have everything you're doing that with the cookout and everything. Where do you see, as time progresses and Magic continues moving forward and evolves, where do you see yourself going within Magic? Do you know, where do you see TableTop Jocks going? You know, the cookout and other things. You know, what's your vision for the future?
I think for me, the cookout has been the most important thing to put out into the world. It's given me a lot of thought about how big I wanted to become and how much I wanted to rival, bigger cons like Comic-Con, or, just any big con that just has people like to see that many smiling people, to see that many smiling faces. Like I said, when you go to these cons, it's a whole different world. Yeah. It's not like dealing with the trolls or the people with bad takes online. They could just type in a sentence, or it's actually people who care about the community, who care about giving back and the love. And the last cookout, actually, cool. It was so everybody was smiling ear to ear. There were so many sponsors that supported. Thank you for all the love that came into it. Exclusive playmats were made. Donations were made. It was just such a good time. And I've learned a lot. From that experience. So I think that's the one thing I will always cherish and always want to continue to keep going. As far as going to cons, I think going to cons is such a good, cool thing to do. Like, I'm very honored and very privileged to be able to be in the space and have so much love and support. I definitely see myself continuing to go to these things just casually as just being a person that likes nerdy shit. Like I would love for TTJ to continue, whether it's me at the helm or someone who I trust completely. Community is what TableTop Jocks is. Yeah. And that's what I've wanted to foster and what I've wanted to continue. And even after if I become too busy, or if I'm like, hey, I'm in a fine movie deal, I gotta be out, I would want TCJ to continue, because it's not about just me, of course. It's about the community. It's about the people that are there and that are involved, and I would want to continue to see that grow and thrive, no matter what.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool. Not to shill myself here, but if you need if you need any assistance with any like event stuff, it's I do it for a living. So I'm just putting that out there. You could always do a cookout in the UK and go international.
I would love to. That's my one of my bigger goals is also to do a cookout, multiple cookouts like during the year, not just during, so Juneteenth it celebrates the freedom of, slaves in America, and given our freedom, we have that to celebrate. And now it's an official, holiday that we can celebrate, to double down and put that, give that, celebration a little bit more emphasis. And, keeping in mind, I wouldn't want to derail from what the purpose of the cookout was originally. But I would love to have, multiple, even if it wasn't like a cookout per se, but just have multiple events that I could throw during the year, that I could travel and meet up with folks. And that would just be a really cool thing, because I know there's a lot of people who are not able to make it out. There's a lot of people who are not able to make it out to different Magic Cons, especially based on the location or timing or just whatever events are going on in their lives. And I would love to sit down and meet with everyone. Even if I can't play a game, I would love to just hang out. That would mean the world to me, because that's just what it is. You know, I always want to give back to community. I think that's the biggest thing, is like giving back to everyone who is giving anything to anyone, and encouraging everyone to keep like the community involved, keep everyone, you know, bringing more folks in, bring as many people as you can, because that's literally what it's about. It's the gathering. You know what I mean? And I know it sounds corny, but like that's what we came here to do. And that's why I always encourage people, you know, communicating as much as they can, because I think that there's a lot of things that are lost in translation. And I think that there's, you know, a lot of things that could be solved just by talking, and getting their points out without having an agenda, but just human beings just conversing on a blank slate, just being 100% honest with each other. I think a lot of things could get done a lot easier that way, and a lot of confusion could get, you know, resolved, because, you know, it's hard because the human body also wants to protect itself. We want to go into defense mode. We want to go into, you know, fight or flight, or we want to go into, you know, past experiences that have happened to us. And if we just become open-minded and allow ourselves to just talk and trust and not going with an agenda, I think there are a lot of things could be handled and resolved.
Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah. So I have one last question, and then I will let you get back to your day. Again, just looking at the future and looking very, very focused on Magic itself. In the next couple months, there's going to be several sets coming out, because that is the way of things. Is there anything you're particularly looking forward to in terms of releases in the next couple of months?
Couple of months. I mean, I'm definitely excited about the Innistrad block, but I guess it wouldn't be a couple months. It'd be like the summertime, but like Final Fantasy
is March,
one of my.
Isn't it?
I think it's June.
Was it June?
I think it's June. Yeah, I think it'll be out right before. Yeah. I think it'll be right out before. It'll actually be out the weekend of the cookout, which is hilarious.
Ooh.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Because I'm doing a cookout the week before MagicCon in June. Yeah. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that. I absolutely adore Final Fantasy VII in particular, and also Final Fantasy 16. Just because I'm a huge Devil May Cry fan, and they use the fighting system from Devil May Cry in the combat system in Final Fantasy 16. So that has become one of my favorite Final Fantasies. And he's also now, and Clive is also now in Tekken. So I'm like, well, you guys are just, well, you're speaking my language here. Well, Final Fantasy 7 is, I've always loved 7 to create decks based around characters that I've loved and adored and like played the shit out of countless times. I mean, I want Final Fantasy. I want it to go all out. They could literally just do a whole set on Final Fantasy 7 in general. I know they're doing them all just across the board, but they could do a set, like a big set on Final Fantasy 7 at all, and that would rock my world. But yeah, with that being said, definitely looking forward to that. Looking forward to Spider-Man. I was hanging with a buddy of mine earlier this week, and he's a huge Venom fan. He plays Venom in Marvel Rivals. I play Magneto in Marvel Rivals, obviously, and we were tag teaming up, and we, like, as two tanks, we were just like, yeah, you know, we were just like just talking about our day and just like blasting everybody in the game. We were just like, oh my goodness, like we actually make a really good team. I'm like, yeah, I know. But I told him I wanted to make a Venom deck for him if they release Venom. It's like, I want to get him into playing Magic. And he was like, you know what? If you make a Venom deck, I'm down to play. I'm like, sold. So nice. That is probably the thing I'm looking forward to the most, is just like building him a deck based around Venom and just seeing his face light up. And, you know, he had a hard year last year. And so I just want to give some, you know, some more joy into his life, you know.
Yeah. And if it gets him into Magic, it shows that Universes Beyond is a good thing and doesn't need all that negative press. Because you're bringing someone new into Magic through.
Yeah, I think we just ignore all the people. Like, if you're yucking someone's yum, you're doing it for the wrong reason. Unless it's, you know, they're doing something terrible. To hate on something that brings someone joy is never a good thing. So just cut it out. Everyone who's doing it. And I think we just start ignoring the people who are just like want to pout in the corner. Like, let them pout in the corner.
Yeah.
Who cares? We're going to continue to have fun.
Oh, yeah. Here we are. Lots of fun because it's the best card game in the world. So
it is. 1000% is the best.
Well, on that note, I have no more questions. I just want to say thank you very much for taking the time out to sit down and chat with me. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Before we go, for those that may not know who you are, and if at this point they don't, we've literally just spent an hour talking about you, so could you just remind those in the audience there,
sure,
just there, who you are and where they can find you, so we can make sure they know.
So thank you so much for having this has been always a blessing every time I can, you know, talk with people about what we love to do. I think it's such a cool thing, and you know, I'll never take it for granted. So thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. You can find me at TableTop Jocks on Instagram, on what else? Obviously YouTube. If you're on a TikToker, you can find me at _. And I mean, I have a link tree to all my stuff, even though people are like, where's your deck list? Everything is in one link all together. Just click on that link, you will find it all. But people won't do that because they're inherently lazy. It's fine. But yeah, I post pretty much every day. Just some kind of like random antics. I love posting sketches about Magic. I'm gonna start posting more D&D stuff on the YouTube channel.
Nice.
Working on a D&D campaign right now. That's really fun. So can't wait to bring that to light. Yeah, I'm gonna just see y'all at all the cons this year. I'll be at all the Magic cons. I'll be at hopefully at Comic-Con, Gen Con. Maybe PAX Unplugged, you know, be there with the Dragon Shield crew for sure. They have adopted me as their little you know, mixologist, if you will. So we're gonna have some fun, you know, mixing some things up and just having some good times and good laughs. And yeah, if you see me out in the wild and you got some tequila on you and you want to do a little shot, let's do it, because that's we the tequila boys.
That's good to know. I will let the channel's water witch Haley, who is our cocktail maker on the podcast, know to bring tequila to Chicago.
Okay.
So we will have tequila.
I'm so down. I will so down to do a shot. Like that's my jam. Love it.
Nice. Well, we will close out there. For everyone watching, do the algorithm things, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Thank you for watching. You've made it this far, so you know where the socials are. Checkfortraps and all the things. Go look, gameplay, podcast, alcohol, chatting, all the things. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Peace.